Hey, what is happening, guys? So I realized it had been a while since I talked about the Tepui rooftop tent that I bought probably almost 2 years ago. And I posted pictures of it and stuff on Instagram, but never really did a video or talked any more about it since we got it. So I thought I'd just do a quick little video, kind of a quick half-ass like review, how I like it so far. Here it is, mounted to the Tacoma. So when I got this, I had a Honda Element, and it was on the roof of the Element. So I've kind of been able to experience what the tent is like on multiple different vehicles and multiple different setups. So what I'll do is I'll unfold it, I'll set it up, and then we can do a quick walk around. Here it is shut up or put away. And it's mounted on these CBI Offroad Overlanding Bars, which are really rugged and really heavy duty. This is a 2020 Tacoma TRD Offroad that it's mounted to. So I'll take it, unfold it real quick, set it up, and then tell you how I feel about it, pros and cons, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Would I buy it again? How do I plan on using it in the future? I don't know. Anyway, I'll unfold it and we'll go from there. So I'm filming by myself. It's hotter than hell, so I'm not going to be able to, I don't have anything to prop the camera up on to be able to watch me unfold it, but I'll just kind of show step by step. So essentially what you do first is unzip this like heavy duty rubberized nylon, I guess, or something, cover that it's on. Essentially you unzip it all around three of the edges and expose kind of the tent that's folded up in there, if you can see, and then basically just take the cover and flop it over so it's laying, the tent's exposed, and from there the ladder that's folded up will be on top. Unhook the ladder, and then you throw the ladder over and use the ladder as leverage to unfold the tent. So that's what I'll do next. All right, as you can see, the tent's unfolded and the ladder's down, and the ladder rungs kind of lock into place depending on how tall you need it based on the level of the ground you're on, and then that provides like a support for this part of the tent platform, almost like a leg, if you will, for the tent. This part here, what I typically do, this is the cover, rather than just let it fold down here, and I haven't read the instructions on this thing. I'm a dude, right? So what I typically do is just roll it up, and then there's some straps under here that you typically use to secure the tent when it's folded up, and I just wrap those straps around it and kind of keep it up out of the way. It keeps it clean, and then you can use this area and whatnot. Next step is to basically unfasten all these like flies and awnings. They're just kind of like clipped down with one of those little clippy things that it goes through the hole, and it's like an oblong shaped thing that just holds it in place. So you basically just unclip those, and this is the entrance to go get in the tent. And then inside the tent there's like some almost like spring steel rods that are about a foot or two long, or a couple feet long, and then you stick them into holes here, and then they kind of bend up and spring and attach to those hole points on the tent. You can see that. So that's all I'm going to do next is I'll set those up, and we'll go from there. So real quickly, this is the bag that you just store it under the mattress up there, is usually what I do. These are the poles. This part will go into the fly or the awning on the tent, and then the other part's just straight, and it goes into like a pre-drilled hole in the aluminum framing around the bottom of the tent, and then you kind of use the tension of the metal rod to hold the window awning and the door awnings up out of the way. But they give you this the nice little bag to store them in. It's made out of the same material as the tent, like a ripstop type material, so that's cool. All right, so I'm sweating like a pig. It's southeast Oklahoma in July. It's hot, but there it is, set up with as much as I'm going to set it up for. This is as far as I've ever gone setting it up. since I've had it. It does come also, it comes with some like tie down straps that go on some like tie down loops underneath. I guess if it's windy, it would keep this from flapping up in the wind. I've never used them. They're just up under the mattress. That's where I store all that crap like that. But here it is set up. I'd say from the time I started until the time I got to here, which is pretty much ready to go, taking out the time it took just to film these little clips and whatnot, probably like seriously like 5 or 10 minutes worth of work. It's really easy to set up, and that's what's nice. It's easy to set up. It's fairly easy to tear down, other than just you're having to put things away and tuck things into places, and you know, it's always easier to take something out than it is to put it away. But here it is, and we can get a little closer and check it out. Here's these little tie down things I was talking about. What I use it for is this mostly. My little Goal Zero Lighthouse Mini. I think I have a review up of that. I use it to hang lanterns on, hang stuff like that on. This little lantern, by the way, is awesome. If you're looking for solo camping by myself, just carrying a little light around, this thing will last forever. Works really well, and you know, all these little tie downs I can hang it from or whatnot, and works pretty well. But you can see it's a pretty good height on the back of the truck. It's, you know, I'm not the tallest guy in the world. I'm like 5'6", 5'7", so you know, it's about 5 feet off the ground. Nice height, gets you up off the elements. So I'm able to put with the truck, one of the factors when you're using a truck, or one of the factors when you're mounting this somewhere, is I'm able to put 3 of these awning fly covers up, but this one I can't really put up because these bars that go under tension, it would hit the cab of the truck back here. I could put this one up, but I can't put that one up, so I'll probably put this one up just to get some breeze through there. But that's just something to consider if you're mounting it lower on the bed of a pickup truck or closer to the cab like this. This is only a 5-foot bed, so there's only so much I can do with it. You know, it might be different if you had it flipped around, maybe the opening in the back, but probably not, because these are still, these still might be in the way. I don't know. I haven't played around with it. I like having the having it set up coming out the passenger side. It's just what I'm used to. You can, when you get it in the mail or however it's delivered to you, you put the mounting like slots, you install them on the bottom of the tent. That's really the only thing you have to do, you know, construction wise, when you get the tent, and you choose which way you want the rails to go. You can mount them this way or that way, depending on how it's going to mount on whatever vehicle or platform, whatever you're putting it on. So, so you have some options there. It comes with really good mounting hardware. It's these little channel like things that go in, slide in, bolts that come down, and then you can adjust the width, and it actually comes with a really nice ratcheting open end wrench. It's like every tool you would need, it comes with. And I just keep the wrench, actually I keep it here when I'm using it. It comes with this. It's really nice, you know, ratcheting wrench. So if it comes loose or I need to move it, I can use that. So here's the opening. You can kind of see in there, it's a nice big opening. The mattress comes with this mattress. It's like really thick, maybe 2 inches or so foam. It's not memory foam, but it's just really comfortable mattress to sleep on. And then it's really kind of aluminum decking, which is fairly nice. Look back around here. Here's the side window. All the windows, the screen portion unzips, and then on the inside of these side windows, there's also a solid portion that you can zip up. If it's windy or cold, you don't necessarily have to have the screens open. Same for the doors. You can see I have them. This is essentially the same as the door on the other side. There's just no ladder here. You can see I have this outer flap of tent material rolled up and stowed up there, but if you didn't want that open, wintertime rain or whatever, you know, you would just zip it down. But these all open as well, you know, and you can have everything open and hop out that way if needed. And then the upper rain fly up here, that actually comes off completely if you want it to. And then there's 2 like skylight, or 2 of these on the roof, to where I think that's why they call this model, I think it's called the Kukenam Sky. I don't know, it'll be in the name of the the video. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I think that's why they call it the Sky, because you can actually take this off and get back away here and you can see a little bit of view of it. You can take that off this whole fly, and then you can have it starry night or whatever. You could stand up even if you needed to, and you know, see up through the roof like a skylight. I've never done that. If anything, like tonight, it's in the 90s right now, and it's supposed to get down in the 70s tonight. But tonight I might just open those up just to have some ventilation going through or whatever. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I definitely like it better on the pickup truck than I did on the Element, just because it's lower and it's easier to set up on the Element, or if you had it on SUV. Even if you're tall, you know, if you're super tall, if you know 6 foot, 6.5 feet or whatever, if you're taller than me, it might be a little bit easier to reach some stuff. But on the pickup, it's a little bit lower. You can stand on the tailgate to like work the windows and to reach over, because you have to unhook the ladder and then throw the ladder over when you're setting it up, and there's some attachment points and whatnot. So the lower you get it, the easier it's going to be to install. When it was on the Element, the roof of that, it's a higher center of gravity on the vehicle, so it definitely swayed more in the wind or on the freeway. Here it's a little bit lower, plus this truck has better suspension than the Honda anyway. But it's just a factor to consider. These bars, I think however you mount it, these bars I'm really happy with. I would recommend them. These are by CBI Offroad. And they're not overly expensive. I want to say maybe they were like a couple $100. Some of the overlanding like racks and whatnot you get for these are like super expensive, and these weren't that bad. And what I liked about them is they go onto the rails, the track rails. They bolt on inside of the track rails of the in the bed, so it's fairly easy to take on and off. I don't leave them on all the time. Like when I'm done with the tent, if I'm not going to be camping for a few months, I don't like to drive around. It's just extra wear and tear and weight, and you know, it's not that it looks goofy. You know, it's fine on the back of the truck, but I take it on and off. The tent's not the easiest thing. I can do it by myself, and I have a system set up to where I kind of slide the tent over, I lay it onto the tailgate, and then I lift it up and set it onto like a A-frame type ladder, and then I can get up on the top, and I can lift it up and I slide it up onto the overlanding bars, and then I can just kind of pull it and slide it up, and then I can take it off the same way. So it's a little awkward. The tent weighs probably about 100 pounds, I think, or maybe a little over 100 pounds. So it's kind of bulky and awkward, but it's not unreasonable. So then I'll take it on and off when I'm not using it, and then usually like a day or two before I'm going to go camping, like yesterday, I put the overlanding bars on in the tent. It takes me like maybe 20 minutes, a half an hour. Once you do it a few times, you get it down. And I put little marks on the bottom of the tent, and I have some just measurements for the overlanding bars, so I just know like it's like 10 inches from the cab or whatever, and I slide the overlanding bar there, and that way all the measurements always line up, and I can slide the little marks in place and then bolt everything up, and it goes fairly quickly. So that's a recommendation if you're going to be taking it on and off. The other thing is there might be some videos, or you can get some like garage hoists that you can actually like mount to the ceiling of your garage, and then you can just back your truck up, throw like a rope or something around, and you can just raise the tent up. I thought about doing that, and then you can just raise it up and down whenever you don't want to use it. I just haven't gotten around to doing that. I'm just sliding it off and on and then leaning it up against the garage wall when I'm not using it. But overall, I've used it year round. I've used it in summertime like this. It's in the 90s. It's got great ventilation, so it's really comfortable to sleep in. The mattress doesn't get too hot. It's just really comfortable to sleep in. And I've used it in dead cold winter. I think the coldest it was, we were up here, I think it got down to the teens one night. You know, there was ice on the ground. It was freezing, and it retained heat pretty well. It was comfortable. You know, I just had everything zipped up and closed, you know, to keep the wind and all that out. And, you know, it was just like anything else, sleeping in a tent in the cold. I've been in the rain, and it didn't leak or anything. You know, maybe if it was driving rain or windy, there's some like seams and stuff that it might come in, but I've never experienced that. But overall, all seasons I've slept in it, and it's been really good. It's been really comfortable. So pluses and minuses. Pluses are, it's easy to like, easy to set up. It's almost easier than setting up a tent on the ground. You know, it's because you're just unfolding it and whatnot, and you're able to stand up and work. So it's easy. So setting it up is easy. Tearing it down is fairly easy. It's easy to, you know, drive around and get places. It's on the back of your truck, so it's convenient. It's very comfortable. It gets you up off the ground, so you're not like sleeping, you know, having to clear a spot here on a flat area, and then you get bugs and snakes and spiders and all that. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's, you know, it's up off the ground. If it's muddy, because like here in the wintertime, this area and all here gets super muddy. So if it's muddy, I just climb up the ladder, take my shoes off, throw them in a plastic bag, and, you know, climb in the tent, and then throw my shoes on and climb back down. So you're able to kind of control the dirt, and you're not in the mud and whatnot. So it's comfortable and it's nice that way. And there's actually, they make attachments, and you can get like awnings, and they make bag, I think, attachments that you can clip on to like outside the door. So you can like almost like a little boot type thing. You can put shoes and boots and stuff in. If it's raining or cold out, I usually bring my shoes inside, even if they're in a bag, if they're muddy, just to keep them kind of that same temperature in the morning or in the middle of the night when I gotta get up. That way I'm not like getting wet shoes or frozen shoes. You know, it's an option for you if you wanted to get one of those little external boot thingies. The downsides to this thing are that it's mounted to your truck. It's mounted to your vehicle. So like this, you know, I got here, kind of set up camp a little bit, you know, pulled things out, cleared around where the fire pit is down there, set up the tent. And then if you want to go out, you're like maybe I wanted to drive back up and do some wheeling, or drive back into town 15-20 minutes away and, you know, get some beer, get some groceries or whatever. The downside is this: it's bolted to your freaking truck. And now if you want to go somewhere, do something, do some sightseeing, go to the lake, maybe you got some kayaks, or you're going to go fishing or whatever, you got to fold this thing up and put it away and get it almost exactly put away as if you were leaving to go home, because, you know, there's maybe some straps you don't have to do, but it's, you know, it's essentially you're putting the dang thing all the way away again, which granted, it's only, you know, 5-10 minutes worth of work, but it's a pain in the ass. And it's not like if you had a tent set up on the ground here and you're like, sweet, let's go wheeling, or let's go into town and get some dinner or whatever, then you just go. So that's the biggest downside with this thing, is that it's on your mode of transportation here. I dislike that so much that I'm actually considering, if I keep this, which I don't plan on getting it anytime soon, if I keep it in the future, I'm probably going to get a little trailer, like maybe one of those old like pickup truck beds that people turn into trailers. I'd love to have one of those, and then just mount these bars to that bed of the trailer, and then just have this thing all the time, and then I can just park it in the garage or park it in the side yard and cover it up or whatever. And there's other companies that make, they're super expensive, or, you know, depending on what your budget is, they make like overlanding trailers that have like little kitchen areas in them, and solar and all that type of stuff. That's another option you could do, is plop that thing on the trailer, and that way you're just dropping your trailer off, setting the tent up, and then you can unhook and you can go wheeling, you can do whatever you want to do, go exploring, fishing, kayaking. And then it frees up the back of your truck. Granted, it still has plenty of room back here. I still have some containers and stuff in there, but it would free up the bed for other things, you know, a camper shell or whatnot if you wanted to. But that's just the biggest downside, is that you're married to it. You know, it's there. Unless maybe you got somewhere like this and you're going to be here for a week, and you had some kind of mobile setup, maybe some A-frame, you know, wood A-frame things that you kept brought with you and you set in the back or something. I don't know. It's an option. Maybe you can have, if you're clever, you can do like a mobile little setup you take with you and build something. But again, it's just a hassle, and it's heavy to take off and on. So, I mean, that's kind of the pluses and the minuses. You know, I'm not going to go into the technical details of it. Maybe I'll post a link or something. I don't know if they make this model anymore. I'm not a tent salesman. You know, just kind of posting up because I do get questions. In fact, I posted on Instagram as I was heading up here, took a picture of the truck and said, you know, I was packed up heading out of town, and someone commented on Instagram like, hey dude, let me know what you think of that tent. I'm thinking of getting one. So that's what kind of made me think I need to do this video, and just kind of throw my thoughts out there of what I think. You know, basically, I think it's around 2 years since I've owned this, and I've camped in it multiple times a year, like I said, winter, summer, everything. So I'll pause this. We'll climb up the ladder and take a quick peek inside and show you the features in there, and then we'll call this thing good. All right, so here I'm on the ladder, and here is the inside of the tent. I don't know the exact dimensions. I'm gonna say it's probably like, geez, I don't know. It's probably like 7 or 8 feet by, I don't know, 4 feet. It sleeps 2 people here. My wife and I sleep here super comfortably. You could probably even squeeze 3 if you needed to. Wouldn't be the most comfortable thing in the world, but hey, you know, it's doable. Great headroom. Go inside and take a peek. Lots of headroom and lots of there's those skylight things I was talking about that you can open. And there's the one that I don't have open right now. There's vents up in the top corners, as you can see. Everything opens completely if you needed it to. And there's, you know, little hooks and things on the inside. There's 4 little pockets, you know, so you can put your down here you can put your keys and, you know, whatever, chapstick and all that kind of crap. There's 4 of them, 2 on either side. So yeah, that's it. That's what it looks like in here. It's pretty cozy. Yeah, so that's that. Let me know what you think. If you have questions, comments, go ahead and fire away. I'll try to be as assistive as possible and answer as many questions as I can. Again, I would say they're not cheap. I think this thing was a little over $1,000. So if this is what you want to do, you know, drive around the country or camping, use this. You know, you can do a lot of other things with I think this was like $1,200 or $1,400. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it. But that goes a long way in other camping gear and stuff, or even maybe an old used like tent trailer or something. So worth considering. You might be able to buy them used. I don't know what the used market's like. I think eventually this thing's in great shape. I take really good care of it, so eventually I might sell it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what unfolds. But again, that's it, man. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, leave them below.